Today, we're going to talk about how relying on God can actually make evil disappear. It's unbelievable how to do this. Of course, if you enjoy these videos, make sure to like, subscribe, and I really appreciate all the support from everybody. And also, go ahead and post comments and your questions, challenges you're facing right now, how to deal with them. What is it that you need to do in order to surpass them? Because the moment you listen to these series of Daily Boost of Bitachon, just a few of them, you're going to understand that you're in control of your happiness, you're in control of your success, your ability not to depress, less stress, being mentally free. And so the moment that we learn that we're not going to be relying on ourselves, okay? So, oftentimes what we do is we rely on ourselves for our own happiness. It's a problem. It's written and it teaches us in Chovot HaLevavot that if we rely on our own wisdom, our own abilities, our own tactics, our own strengths, our own efforts, we will face challenge. We will not be able to succeed, and it may turn around and backfire and come back to us. There's a situation very clear that is spoken to in the Torah. And in the Torah, we have a story of Paro. When he was trying to eliminate all the Jews of the world, he thought he was clever and said, you know what? I will have all the boys thrown into the river. So any woman that bears a son, we will throw those babies into the Nile, and we will eliminate the Jews this way. What he didn't realize is that by his action of doing this, God saves Moses in the Nile through his very own daughter, in his very own palace, where he's grooming and taking care of Moses and Moshe and taking care of him and allowing him to become this leader, which eventually, obviously, turns around and, like a boomerang, comes back to then destroy Egypt. So, what does this mean? This means that obviously we cannot rely on ourselves. We have to rely on Hashem. We have to rely on God, and then miracles will happen. And oftentimes when I speak anywhere or I'm doing anything, I say, Bezat Hashem, BH, in God's will, because it should be second nature. Everything we do, we should know that it's highly dependent on our faith in Hashem, our trust in God. There's a personal situation that happened to me when I launched my medical manufacturing business. And there was it was going to be my first biggest contract. And I was so excited. I worked so hard to make it happen. And we were going to be, it was a government contract. We were going to be funded by the government, and we were going to be getting the backing by a individual that promised to write us a check and be a partner in the deal with us and give us the funding that we needed. And we're talking a very large amount. And I did everything I can to make it happen. I got the contract. I was excited. Now I call this individual up and I tell him, okay, can you write me the check? And can we order the goods so we can import it and make the sale? That very afternoon, he stopped responding to my phone calls, disappeared. Now, I could have taken the route and say, you know what? This is unbelievable. I worked so hard. I didn't sleep for 3 weeks and this and that. And this was also at the peak of COVID. And instead, what I did was I said, okay, God is in control. There's a reason why this is not happening. We're going to figure this out. Turns out that we ended up getting paid in advance, did not have to have another partner in the deal. And it was a miracle of its own. And it was just so clear that there's no way that something like this can't happen without the hand of God. But it took patience. It took prayers. It took tremendous amount of, being strong and inner battle to not try to give up. And so if you're facing a challenge right now, and it's not happening the way it's supposed to be, I challenge you to put this out there. Let me know what it is. Make a comment or send me an anonymous message, and go ahead and tell you and repeat 3 times. I trust in you, Hashem. I trust in you, Hashem. I trust in you, Hashem. And speak to me in maybe a week, a month, 2 months, and share your story when things turn around. But we have to do our part. You cannot expect, to just give up on your efforts. You have to keep trying, do everything you can in your human capacity, and you have to do the best possible in your ability. Whether it's an exam, you might be in school, you have to do the best you can to ace that exam. Now, whether you're going to pass or fail, that's after the exam. That's up to God. Have yourself